Although billions of people around the world menstruate, period pain can be an extremely isolating experience. But we want to help make those going through it feel a bit less alone. So we're getting Cityline real about it right now. Here to talk about their experiences with debilitating period pain and how they cope with it, Vivian Kaye, along with two of our awesome Cityline producers, Tiffany Crawford and Esther Caszo. Thank you all for joining us. I'm going to start by asking the audience, though, how many of you suffer from severe menstrual cramps? You can put up your hand if this is an experience for you. So many folks do who have a uterus. I want to start with you three and tell me when your period pain first started. Like, how old were you, Viv?
Well, I want to say, it started probably when I was 13 too, but the actual pain, that I remember, early 20s. Early 20s, I had a miscarriage, and then after that, it was just downhill from there.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about the miscarriage, by the way. Yeah, I know they're prevalent, but they're still not easy. Been through it as well. Tiff, how about you? When did the period pain start?
So I got my period at 13, and then the first couple of cycles were not so bad, and then I would say right after that, it just hit like a truck. Yeah.
Okay, S, how about you? How old were you?
So I got my period when I was 10 and a half, and I think my pain began even before I got my period. So I had like, I think 2 or 3 months where I would get like severe pain, and my grandmother, my mom kind of were like, this is gonna happen, so get ready. So yeah, I've always have pain. Wow.
So they knew that what you were experiencing, even as a 10-year-old, that was the pre-pain that was getting you prepared for your period.
Yeah, it was severe cramps, so they knew. They were like, oh my God, you're gonna get your period. Yeah.
Can you walk us through, just for folks who have never been through it, never been through a period, but then also never had period pain, Viv, what was that experience like? What did it feel like for you?
Well, for me, it's like I also had cysts and fibroids as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was super painful. I would have heavy periods. I would use the overnight pads during the day, like 5 or 6 a day. I remember when I was pregnant, I had a cyst and it burst.
Oh my God.
And I thought I was in labor, and it turns out I wasn't in labor, because when I was in labor, I was like, oh, this is labor? This is my period. Like, that's what it felt like. So it gave me a really, really, really high pain tolerance.
Right, which we're going to talk about is not such a good thing.
No.
We shouldn't have to have such a high pain tolerance. That's not okay.
No.
Okay, Tiff, how does it feel when you're going through your period pain?
Yeah, so it's a full body situation. It's physical, it's mental. I remember being at my part-time job and literally writhing on the ground in the like break room because I was on my period. It's just so painful. It's the anxiety before my period, knowing that it's coming and having to kind of like rearrange what I'm doing and plans. And yeah, it's just like, it's back pain. It's pain in like the butt. It's pain in the butt that like causes like shocks through your body, like
literal pains in the butt.
Yeah, like I'm jolting
Is it like
this.
Stabbing?
It's like stabbing in your in your butt.
In your bum.
In the butt. Yeah.
Okay.
Not good.
So you're feeling it here. You're feeling it here.
Yeah.
Are you nauseous?
Nauseous. I would get migraines as well. So it was just like there was not a part of me that was like not in pain.
How long does it usually last for you?
I would get cramps for like a couple of weeks or like a week before my period started. Then when my period actually started to flow, it was even more pain, and so that would last for maybe like 3 days, taper off, and then my period would last for 7.
Oh my gosh, so we're talking half a month here.
Yeah.
Half a month of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Ash, how about you? What does it feel like? Can you describe?
So for me, I think the pain has increased over the years.
Great.
And I always think of like how I managed as a kid, because I remember my grandmother and my mom would look at me and be like, oh, this is what women go through. Like, this is what it means to be a woman. So I think it was kind of like, it's imbibed in me. Like, I know this is the pain I go through, and it's going to happen every month. But I think I forget what it's like. Like the pain, like every month when it happens, it's like oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, like why? This is so bad.
Yeah.
And then like the next day, because the next day is a little better.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I remember I just went through this yesterday.
Yes.
It'll get better. And then, oh, it'll get over in a few days. So like you can cope with it. But I have like a routine. I need hot water bottle.
Yeah.
I need a pill that's gonna put me to sleep. I need something hot like a turmeric milk or like a tea. And then I need to get into fetal position, and I need to stay there till I feel like, okay, I can maybe walk to the bathroom now, or I can, you know,
my
or
gosh.
like I'm sitting on the pod and I'm on the pod.
Yeah.
That's a good position. Like I don't
Yeah,
get out of
stay
that.
there.
Yeah.
And like you see me, Trace, like even in studio,
Yeah.
sometimes like I'm on my, like I'm crouching down just because it's comfortable.
It feels better to like squat.
Yeah, just squat. Just
I
stay
see
there.
her squatting in the studio. I'm
Yeah.
like, Esther, it's your period. We
Everyone
know
knows.
you're in
Yeah.
such intense pain, and you've got to show up for work every day.
Yeah.
Like that's sort of
Yeah.
what we need to start discussing, because that's not. We shouldn't have to put that kind of pain in, and then that's your normal way of being
Yeah. Yep.
for like half a month. So, have you found any relief, or what did you do? Because I know you're not getting your period anymore.
No,
She's like,
no.
those days are over.
Well, you know, like my OBGYN, she's always been like, you know, you don't have to go through this pain. So when I had
Okay.
my son, she was like, these are the options. So I tried all the medications to shrink the fibroids and the cysts
Yes.
and to do all that. And she's like, you should just, you know, you can have a hysterectomy. So, but I was
Right.
36 at the time.
Yeah.
So I waited until last year, 44, and I said, you know what? I'm done with this pain. I'm done dealing with this. So I had a total hysterectomy.
And
so
you're-
now I'm
and you're
uterus.
good?
I'm girl. You see this? I'm showing all my teeth. I'm living the good life.
In terms of affecting your life, have you had to take days off work? Have you had to miss events? Have you had to, like, how has it affected your life, Tiff?
Yeah, well, I'll quickly just answer some of the things that I've done to kind of combat my period pain. I would take a severe amount of medication. I know that the bottle might say that you're only supposed to take like 6. I would go above that, which I don't recommend. It would cause me to feel sick, and so it was like feeling nauseous and throwing up on top of having this these painful cramps.
It's a sign of desperation.
that
Don't
you're
ever
like-
do it.
yeah, don't
That-
ever do it.
When the desperation gets that intense, it's a problem.
Exactly. Using heat, as Esther mentioned. A big thing that my mom used to recommend, and I used to hate to do it, but it worked, was to get in the bathtub, and we had like a smaller tub that we would fill with like literal steaming water, and I
Yeah.
would crouch over it and get
Yes.
that steam like up in there.
Yeah.
It just felt like it was getting to the problem like faster than like a hot water bottle
Yeah.
would. And so yeah, I like to joke that I was like vaginal steaming before Gwyneth Paltrow made it cool. And so yeah, like I used to worry that I wouldn't be able to keep a job because of how many of like this was when I was in like my part-time job. I thought like if I get a full-time job, they are not going to let me work here because I'm going to have to take off time every month.
Yeah.
This is before I knew better, and then ended up in a place that is like mainly women, where you know where it's more of a supportive environment. But that was a big concern of mine.
Absolutely. But here we'll be like, would you like a diaper?
Exactly.
But I love it. And also, what can we do to start fixing this situation for women? We have our own thing going on at Cityline, and we are trying to work on fixing the period poverty problem, but also like maybe trying to get more conversation happening about people being able to stay away from work when they're in that level of pain.
Absolutely.
Is there anything, as people have said to you, that has just like irked you? Like maybe people who don't get periods or don't get, you know, harsh periods.
Well, yeah, I had a doctor once say to me with a straight face that you need to give birth.
Oh.
She said you need to give birth,
That's an
and then
easy
it'll get
fix.
better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I was 27 at that time, and I was like, really?
That's the solution?
That's
Yeah.
the solution.
So, but like I think for me, it's not only the pain; it's also the diarrhea. It's also the puking. So like
Yes.
I've been on set, and I had someone come up to me and say, "Are you pregnant? Because you're puking a lot." And so it's a little weird.
Yeah.
I think in general, when people kind of make comments like saying that like, oh, you must be on your period, it irks me, but then at the same time, I'm like, you're right, like I'm acting like this because I am on my period.
But that's how bad it is.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
I am.
So I'd say that's the main thing.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about a message you would have for people out there who might be indifferent to this, because I think a lot of people feel that folks with uterus, we make stuff up, and it's probably not that bad. Like, get over it. Is there anything you would say to people that might be indifferent about this?
I wouldn't wish this kind of pain on my worst enemy. Like that's how painful it is, and I'm pretty spiteful. Pretty petty.
Big words.
if they think that I'm faking it, then I must be a really good actress because like the full body commitment to writhing on the ground, I should win an Oscar. But I would also just say, you know, like we were kind of talking about this, be kind.
Yeah, be kind.
Be kind to people
be
who
kind to people.
you don't know.
Everyone has their like lived experience, and just because you don't go through it, or you've had a girlfriend who hasn't gone through it, just be a little mindful and believe them when they say they're in terrible pain and they need like a few hours to just deal with it.
And I'll tell you this as well. Dr. Marjorie Dixon, our in-house women's health expert, tells you you've got to go until you find a doctor who believes you and who will help you with this. You should not be living like this. Keep going and keep advocating for your own health. Viv, Tiff, and Esther, thank you so much. It's not easy to talk about. Thank you. So honest. Love you all. Since last fall, we've been collecting donations from you, our audience. Tampons, pads, menstrual cups, and period underwear to help combat period poverty. And because of you, we've collected over 30,000 products. You've been amazing. Learn more at cityline.tv.